Mickles says, were psychedelics part of your enlightenment? They were for me. So this is tricky. For many people that you'll talk to, they'll say that psychedelics were part of the journey. Some will ascribe a lot of causality to it. They'll say, oh, I did ayahuasca and this happened and then I woke up. Or I did a lot of psilocybin journeys with a guide and this sort of shadow work happened and I got more clarity and a sense of the dreamlike nature of reality, and a lot of trauma was processed. So it feels like we've done something that's causative, that this drug did this thing and it was necessary, right? And often this is in retrospect that we'll say all these things. In truth, we're making up a complete story here. Nothing happened. There's always and only this. And here, this showed up in the story as, yeah, those things were done. I don't think they were causative. I think they helped open energetically certain fixations that I had. So it was very hard for me to surrender to certain aspects of emotion and presence and insight. And some of those modalities helped. Maybe. Are they necessary? Not for everyone. Are they necessary at all? You can't say. They just show up. They end up happening. And then in retrospect, you go, yeah, I think that was necessary. But it's very hard to assign causality. The other thing you mentioned was the word enlightenment, which is such a heavy word in our culture now. It feels like when we talk about enlightenment and awakening, and I think there's a lot of teachers online that inadvertently or advertently encourage this thinking that somehow awakening is some magic thing, like a drug that will suddenly make your life so much better. And that without it, you're somehow broken or somehow insufficient, or you'll never get it, or you're doomed to suffer forever. But the truth is, it's simply bringing into consciousness aspects of your current experience that were not apparent before, like the fact that, or sorry, there's no facts really. The experience that what you thought was a separate you from everything that you're experiencing is just another thought, another appearance, another vibration in whatever this is. You can use the words consciousness and stuff. They don't mean anything. So awakening is simply a process, and you can't even really say it's a process because it doesn't occur in time, because time is part of the appearance. But it's a way of progressively, and even that, boy, even as it comes out of my mouth, it's a way of clarity, seeing more truly what's there. That may mean that you feel things that you repressed before that feel very uncomfortable. If you're going to apply a mind judgment to it, feels uncomfortable. Is that enlightenment? I don't know. Is enlightenment walking around in a state of rapture, like the transcendental meditation people seem to do? They're like, yeah, consciousness is bliss. It's just all bliss. This is transcendence. It's bliss. And then they stub their toe and they're like, fuck! Bliss. So what is enlightenment? Enlightenment, who knows? I can just say what this is right now. I can say that there's colors, shapes, experience I'm calling sound, sensations in the body. Right now, the only thought that's going through this space is a sort of visualization of the words that I'm saying. So like words, W-R-I-D-S, that shows up as a visual thought. This is my experience right now. This is the experience right here. And when I look back at what's experiencing it, I see that this that I thought was experiencing it is another appearance. It's another object of experience in this sense, in this way of speaking. So what's experiencing? So when we talk about awakening enlightenment, it is that question ultimately that in a sense is unanswerable, but is answered. It's a very paradoxical thing. And then there can be a lot of suffering. There can be a lot of regular humanity. And this idea that we're somehow going to fully liberate from all suffering and never continue to do this unconscious work that arises or have a bad day or whatever, I think is from here. And again, I could tell, I don't know anything. I can't know anything. It's delusion from here, because that's not how it is. That's not how it shows up. So what's been showing up here is increasing acceptance of the moment as it is, including if it sucks. So if suffering's arising, it actually points me back into the body. Go, oh, I'm clearly riding the thought train in this moment. So what else is here now? There's these sensations that are incontrovertible. They're there. I can't say a word about them that isn't just a story. And it's just more and more finely tuned. Now, psychedelics can put you into that space. They can also put you into a lot of cul-de-sacs and dead ends. Psilocybin, for example, can have it's all experiential. So it can have this experience of a lot of body stuff, which is beautiful, and sort of early traumas can be felt in the body and processed in the sense that they're felt instead of repressed. But then you can get into these fungal, plant-like, alien type of experiences that are just experiences. And are they helpful in any way? I don't know, because they're just experiences, no different than this. So yeah, it's a mystery that we explore again and again and again and again, and it keeps revising and revising and reimagining and revising, and it's in many ways the most beautiful journeyless journey. Johnny says, should psychedelics be legalized? Well, I actually think banning of substances is problematic in general. I'm a little libertarian on this issue, but I think that you need a lot of regulation if you're going to do that, in a sense, because these are not harmless drugs. Even just from a psychic standpoint, they have consequences. You can, without the right setting and guide, or if you have a particular physiology, you can harm yourself irretrievably, in theory especially, and in practice. So I treat them with a degree of reverence. So yeah, I think they should be part of our toolkit, but we shouldn't just be like what we did with cannabis, right? Where it's like, yeah, okay, it's legal, go have fun. Then, you have these things arise like more cannabis hyperemesis syndrome, a psychosis induced by, high THC cannabis products. Who knows what is going to happen with lung disease and that kind of thing if people are smoking it and so on. And we don't know what vaping really does still. So it's worth looking at it, studying it, regulating it, but legalizing it, yes. So that's my old man kind of answer for that. I think they're powerful tools, and to take them off the table is crazy.